So hello, today we're here with Roberto, and he is a STEM major. So first question is, why do you like STEM?
Why do I like STEM?
Yes.
Because growing up, I liked math and science, and I just thought it was pretty cool. That's why I kind of went into it.
What about it was cool?
So the major my major has to do with, I was doing biology, but as I was doing it and just kind of discovering a little bit more about it, entering kind of the field I wanted to go into, I noticed that a lot of stuff I needed to work on was chemistry, especially in pathology.
Mm-hmm.
One thing I liked about it is how you can use a combination of two things and create something new.
Okay.
So, an example I would say that not a lot of people are familiarized, and I think it should be more common knowledge, because something we use a lot is bleach and the mixture of, I'm trying to pronounce it correct, ammonemia, which is in your urine. If you create the two and you mix them, you create mustard gas, which is very dangerous and can kill you. So, that is two elements being combined and then creating something new.
Okay. Why did you go into STEM? I mean, I guess I kind of answered it, right?
The reason I went into STEM is because looking down into further into my degree or kind of my career path, what's it called? I wanted to go to medical school, but I didn't know exactly what to major in because my thought was college, straight into whatever I wanted to be, which was, I was originally going with surgeon. And then I jumped into anesthesiology, and then I was like, what's something I can do that seems a little bit more fun? And that's where I discovered pathology. So then when I did my digging, I found that you needed an undergrad degree in some type of science to get into medical school. And doing my digging, one of them was biology, and then I kind of just went into kind of more into the chemistry side of things.
So we got cut off due to storage issues, but we're going to continue. The next question is, what advice would you give someone going into STEM?
Advice I would give you going into STEM, I wouldn't suggest it if you're not ready for a challenge. If you're not good at like science nor math, especially math. The reason I say math is because a lot of science does revolve around math, and especially one of the type of math that you will use is calculus. Now, if you did take calculus in high school and you sucked at it, then I would suggest staying away from STEM, because calculus is used a lot in STEM with a bunch of science that goes into engineering, chemistry, or I'm trying to remember the other one that goes into it. But stay away from STEM if you're not very good at math. But if you are also up for a challenge and like things difficult and you love math, then STEM is the way to go for that category of things.
Okay. Now, this other question is, what advice would you give someone who hates STEM but has to take STEM classes?
Yeah, so my advice to that is honestly just, it depends on the class and depending on what it is. So if you can give me an example of what you're taking, for example, for STEM.
I'm not really I just took chemistry and physics.
Gotcha. Yeah, so if you have to take STEM classes, I would say try not to drag it out, but try to learn as much as you can. The reason I say that is because a lot of STEM classes, you are going to learn a lot of material that is going to help you out in your further classes. For example, if you understand how to do like simple physics equations or simple physics equations, then if you figure out something difficult, then when you're giving something easier that requires those type of math equations, you're not going to struggle as hard.
Yeah. What were the challenges of pursuing STEM?
Some of the challenges were kind of figuring out why I wanted to go into STEM myself, and then what was like the choice for myself. So what I mean by that is kind of the struggle for me was, why did I have to do STEM? What was my purpose in STEM? And I figured that out towards like the end of my first semester of being in STEM, because I had to do, when looking into my career options, STEM was one of the reasons I had to go into it. So with me trying to follow the same career path, I was forced to kind of go into STEM. So now being forced into STEM, I had to figure out which major to choose in that category.
Okay. Have you noticed changes to the STEM field? If so, how do you think STEM will change going? If not, how do you think STEM will change going forward?
Yes. So notices and big differences is always going to be technology, especially moving with the future. One huge thing in STEM is always going to be computer science, because that requires a lot of like coding and special technology words that you have to learn. Now moving into the future, especially in the medical field, there is going to be a lot of like machines and a lot of stuff that doctors are going to use to have an easier time to understand certain things. Now if we go back to, I don't know, the 1950s, 1960s, they don't have the same technology that they did have today when discovering certain things. For example, what's it called? I'm trying to think of something simple. One simple thing would be how the research for cancer compared to the technology back then versus now. Now they have all the tubes, all the vials. Yes, they did have that back in the day, but not to the level that they have it today. And just as time moves on, technology is going to allow us to improve and get better results on anything that we do learn and use.
Like resolve things faster?
Exactly. For example, let's go back to when the iPhone first came out. Compared to the first iPhone, compared to the new one, what is the biggest differences that people have noticed in those?
The quality.
Exactly. Quality, the camera, just the way the radio signals work, all that good stuff.
Yeah.
Is a big difference from back then and now, and that has to do a lot with STEM.
Okay. Now, knowing what you know now, would you still go into STEM?
Yes.
That's the last question.
I would still go into STEM because STEM is just honestly just for me, my personal opinion with STEM and all that stuff, I like challenges. I've always been a person that likes challenges and like challenging myself. I don't like easy stuff. I don't like simplifying things for myself, because I come from a family that's always challenged me. I don't want to say mentally, but with bigger things. For example, when I was in the second grade, I was challenged to do math equations, like already algebra in the second grade, because of my own father.
Oh, yeah.
So that allowed me to kind of, when I entered high school and discovering career paths, whatever this, I was kind of going towards more the difficult side of things, because that's kind of what I was always shown to do.
Yeah.
And that's why I would go into STEM if I had to, moving forward.
Okay. Well, thank you for your time.
Okay.